Hello everyone, Minute Blessed Meditation here, Tuesday, June the 21st. From 2 Kings, Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, he's going to attack Jerusalem, and Hezekiah is terrified. He's basically assured through the prophet Isaiah, this is not going to happen. The massive army of the Assyrians are not going to be able to put one foot into the city. Now, don't think that the Judeans were, righteous and holy people. They were committing sins, but in this particular case, God was not going to allow the Assyrians to overtake them. That would happen in the future because of their continued sin and refusal to repent. But here, what happens is this. By the way he came, by the same he shall return. God is talking about Sennacherib, the Assyrian lord. For I will defend this city and save it, for my own sake and for the sake of my servant David. That very night the angel of the Lord set out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of Assyria, of the Assyrians. When morning dawned, they were all dead bodies. Then King Sennacherib of Assyria left, went home, and lived in Nineveh. So, it happened. God actually protected the city of his own power. God is capable of doing this. He probably would do it a lot more often if we would actually rely upon him. Seriously rely upon him. So many of our economic, personal problems, economic, social problems would actually go away. God would protect us from our enemies if we seriously relied upon him. But we won't do it. We establish our own Tower of Babels all the time, and we think we can save ourselves. And this is why we have so many problems in our own personal life and in the life of our society, is we really, in effect, we try to save ourselves. But God has shown us from Genesis to Revelation how he wants to be a part of our life. He wants to help us out. He's done this so many times. And we just resist him. We don't trust him. We try to do it on our own. So you and I can try and pray for the grace every day to really trust in the Lord's promise that he wants us to do well, spiritually first, and even, materially, he wants us to have the things that we need in our daily life. Over to Matthew's Gospel. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before swine. And then down a little bit more, enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road is easy that leads to destruction, and there are many who take it. For the gate is narrow and the road is hard that leads to life, and there are few who find it. So the narrow gate is open to everybody. Everybody knows where it is instinctively. God has put it into our heart. We have a GPS, as it were. But the reason why there are few who find it is because they don't want it. Ultimately, when it boils right down to it, no one will go to hell because God sent them there or because it was impossible. They will go to hell because they choose it. Because they don't. Ultimately, when all is stripped away, all the excuses are gone, all the mitigation is factored in, they will not choose heaven, because it must come about through the death to self. That's ultimately, when all is said and done, it's going to boil down to. So, and the way to destruction, you just basically do nothing and let your fallen nature take over, and you don't have to resist anything, and it's easy and it's seductive and it's destructive, and actually it's not even happiness producing. It may be a burst of excitement for a while, but it fades very quickly, and ultimately does not deliver happiness. So you and I need to be resolved to see through this, incredible ability we have to deceive ourselves, and our unwillingness to offer sacrifice to God, beginning with ourself, dying to self, going against the grain, resisting the tide of just letting it go. We have to fight. We have to be like salmon fighting all the way back home. And when they get back home, what happens? They spawn and they die. Well, we will fight. We need to fight against the grain all the time. Pray for the grace to do this, to be faithful one day at a time, even a half day at a time. And eventually, God, he will be faithful. God will be faithful to you and to me as we're fighting all the way to heaven. We die and we have eternal glory. That's what we need to pray for, not only ourselves, but help each other through our prayer. God bless you.